Have you ever felt a woman's attraction for you literally evaporate in real time? 1 minute, the vibe is electric. The next, a switch flips. She pulls away and you are left in a state of complete confusion, asking yourself, what did I do wrong? The painful truth is that most men are breaking a set of unspoken rules. These aren't rules about what fork to use at dinner. These are deep, psychological rules of attraction and respect. And the men who break them, even with the best intentions, are instantly flagged as low value. This is not about playing games. This is about understanding the fundamental psychology of masculine-feminine dynamics. Today, we are laying out the 8 unspoken rules you should never break. And pay close attention to number 7, because it's the one most good guys think is a virtue, but it's actually the one that gets them relegated to the friend zone faster than anything else. These aren't rules to please women. These are rules to respect yourself. Let's begin. Rule number 1, never outsource your confidence. The first and most fundamental rule is this: your confidence must be an internal furnace, not a fragile mirror you are trying to see a reflection in. The man who breaks this rule is constantly outsourcing his sense of self-worth. He's asking, did you have a good time tonight? Are we okay? You still like me, right? He is, in effect, handing her a remote control to his own emotional state. The psychology in depth. This behavior stems from an external locus of control. You believe your happiness and value are determined by external factors, namely her approval. A woman is biologically and psychologically drawn to a man who is a rock, a stable, internally validated force. She cannot relax into her feminine energy if she is busy being the lighthouse for your emotional ship, constantly guiding you back to the shore of, it's okay. It's an exhausting and deeply unattractive burden to place on a romantic partner. The low-value mistake. After a date, he sends the dreaded, "So, did you have fun?" text, anxiously waiting for her reply to determine if the date was a success. The high-value alternative. You practice frame ownership. You decide the date was a success because you showed up as your best self and had a good time. You assume she did too because she was with you. Instead of asking for validation, you give it. You text her later, "I had a great time with you tonight. Let's do it again soon." You are leading from a place of confident assumption, not needy inquiry. Rule number 2, never force her into the masculine role. The second rule is about preserving the very essence of romantic attraction, polarity. The man who breaks this rule commits the sin of chronic indecisiveness. He thinks he's being easygoing when he says, "I don't know, what do you want to do?" Or, "Whatever you want is fine with me." What he's actually doing is abdicating his role as the leader. The psychology in depth. Masculine and feminine energies are like the 2 poles of a magnet. They are different, and the tension between those differences creates the pull. A core aspect of masculine energy is direction, purpose, and decisiveness, the energy that penetrates the world. Feminine energy is more flowing, receptive, and radiant. When you force her to make all the plans, where to go, what to do, when to meet, you are forcing her to operate from her masculine, logistical brain. This pulls her out of her relaxed, receptive, feminine state, and the magnetic pull between you flatlines. The low-value mistake. She asks, "What should we do this weekend?" He replies, "I'm free whenever, just let me know what you're thinking." He has just given her a homework assignment. The high-value alternative. You lead with a plan. You say, "I've got a great idea for this weekend. How about we check out that new exhibit at the museum on Saturday afternoon, and then find a great spot for dinner nearby?" You have a clear, confident vision. She can now relax, say, "Yes, that sounds amazing," and enjoy the ride. You are the architect of the date, not just a passenger. Rule number 3, never become her emotional dumping ground. This is a subtle but deadly trap. You want to be a supportive partner, so you become her 24/7 therapist. She calls to vent for an hour about her horrible boss, her dramatic friend Susan, her family issues, and you just sit there and absorb it all, nodding along, thinking this is how you build deep emotional intimacy. The psychology in depth. Being a supportive partner is crucial. Being a bottomless pit for her negativity is fatal. If your primary role in her life becomes emotional tampon, the person she uses to soak up all her negative feelings, injecting exploration, the masculine frame is point. The masculine frame is one of a calm problem solver and a stable presence. The man who just absorbs endless complaining without redirecting it becomes emotionally indistinguishable from her girlfriends. You are no longer her potential lover. You have been successfully friend-zoned. The low-value mistake. He just listens endlessly, saying, yeah, that sucks, letting her spiral deeper into negativity. The high-value alternative. You practice the listen, validate, lead method. Listen for a few minutes to show you care. Wow, that sounds really frustrating. Validate her feelings so she feels heard. I can totally see why you'd be upset about that. Then, lead her out of the negativity. I don't want this to ruin your whole night, though. Let's talk about something good that happened today, no matter how small. You are the rock that helps her navigate the river of her emotions, not the sponge that just soaks it all up. Rule number 4, never make her the mission. This is the story of the man who, the moment he falls for a woman, makes her the center of his universe. His own goals, his hobbies, the time with his friends, his personal development, all of it is immediately demoted and put on the back burner. His entire purpose in life shifts from building his empire to winning her affection. The psychology in depth. A woman is powerfully attracted to a man's ambition and purpose. His mission is the metaphorical ship that he is captaining. She wants to be the treasured first mate on his epic voyage. She does not want to be the destination. When you make her your entire mission, you become a ship aimlessly adrift in the ocean, and you place the crushing, unattractive weight of your entire existence on her shoulders. She is now responsible for your happiness, which is a role she never wanted. The low-value mistake. He cancels his weekly poker night with his friends because she might be free. He stops going to the gym to wait for her texts. The high-value alternative. You must understand that your mission is your North Star. Your purpose in life must always be your number one priority. A high-value woman doesn't want to distract you from your mission. She wants to be the woman who inspires you to conquer it. She wants to see you captaining your ship with confidence, and she will be proud to be on board. Rule number 5, never project a false self. The 5th rule is about the foundation of all healthy relationships, truth. The man who breaks this rule projects a false self. He lies or exaggerates to impress her. He inflates his income or job title. He pretends to have passions and interests he doesn't, just because she does. He creates a carefully constructed, cool guy persona that is completely inauthentic to who he really is. The psychology in depth. This behavior comes from a deep-seated core belief that your true self is not good enough to be loved. It is the ultimate act of self-rejection. A woman's intuition is a powerful, finely tuned instrument for detecting incongruence. She may not know exactly what you're lying about, but she will feel the disconnect between your words and your energy. She will sense the insecurity behind the facade, and she will never be able to fully trust or respect a man she feels is not being real with her. Trust is the currency of intimacy, and you are starting the relationship with counterfeit bills. The con-value mistake. He tells her he loves hiking and the outdoors because her profile says so, but he's never been on a trail in his life. The lie will inevitably be exposed, and the trust will be shattered. The high-value alternative. You practice unapologetic authenticity. Be honest about who you are, where you are in life, and what you want. If she loves hiking and you don't, be honest and playful about it. I'll be honest, my idea of the outdoors is a bar with a good patio, but I'm willing to be converted. You'll have to show me the way. A man who is comfortable and confident in his own skin, flaws and all, is infinitely more attractive than a man pretending to be perfect. Rule number 6, never engage in low-value communication. The 6th rule governs the quality of your conversation. The man who breaks this rule engages in low-value communication. He complains incessantly about his job, his friends, or his life. He engages in petty gossip, speaking poorly of others to try and create a conspiratorial bond with her. His words are focused on tearing down, not building up. The psychology in depth. Strong, high-value men are builders. They are focused on their own path, their own mission. They talk about ideas, ambitions, solutions, and possibilities. Weak men often try to build themselves up by tearing others down. When you gossip or complain constantly, you are signaling several unattractive things. You are not focused on your own path. You derive status from the misfortune of others. You have a victim mentality, and you lack an interesting life of your own to discuss. It's a deeply unattractive energy to be around. The low-value mistake. On a date, he spends 20 minutes complaining about how his boss is an idiot and his coworkers are incompetent. He has just shown her he is a victim, not a leader. The high-value alternative. You must elevate the conversation. Be a source of expansive, positive, and inspiring energy. Talk about your passions, your goals, interesting things you're learning, and most importantly, ask her about hers. Be genuinely curious about what lights her up. Women are attracted to men whose presence makes their world feel bigger and more exciting, not smaller and more negative. Rule number 7, never abandon your own reality. And here we have the good guy trap, the rule that is broken with the best of intentions and the worst of results. This is the man who, in a desperate effort to be agreeable, becomes a chameleon. He abandons his own reality. He adopts all of her opinions, her tastes, and her beliefs. He erases his own personality to avoid any potential for conflict or disagreement. The psychology in depth. You think being agreeable makes you compatible. It actually makes you invisible. Attraction requires tension, a spark, a polarity. There can be no spark between two identical poles. A woman does not want a yes man. She craves a man with his own solid reality, his own mind, who can challenge her, stand his ground, and introduce her to new perspectives. Your individuality is not a barrier to connection, it is a prerequisite for it. The low-value mistake. She says, I think modern art is the most profound form of expression. He, a man who secretly thinks it's nonsense, nods enthusiastically and says, oh, absolutely, it's brilliant. He has just erased himself from the conversation. The high-value alternative. You practice respectful disagreement. Your individuality is your strength. When she expresses an opinion you don't share, smile and engage her. That's fascinating. I'll be honest, I've always struggled to connect with it. Tell me what I'm missing. What should I be looking for? You are not starting a fight. You are starting a compelling, passionate conversation between two distinct, confident individuals. This is infinitely more attractive. Rule number 8, never try to cage a butterfly. Our final rule addresses the fear that drives so many men to ruin good relationships. This is the man who reacts to his fear of losing a high-quality woman with jealousy, possessiveness, and control. He questions her about who she's with. He gets insecure when she talks to other men. He tries to limit her freedom, her friendships, and her social life. The psychology in depth. This behavior is born from a deep and powerful scarcity mindset. It is a subconscious scream that says, I do not believe I am good enough to keep you on my own merit, so I must control you and eliminate your options. A woman, especially a high-value, confident woman, craves freedom and trust above almost all else. The moment you try to put her in a cage, even a gilded one, her only desire will be to find a way to escape. The low-value mistake. He sees a guy comment on her Instagram photo and sends her a text. Who's that guy? He has just revealed his insecurity and lack of trust. The high-value alternative. You must cultivate an abundance mindset. Understand that you are the prize. A high-value woman chooses to be with you every single day. You must have the confidence in yourself to trust her, and the even deeper self-respect to know that if she were to choose to fly away, you would be perfectly fine because your world is full and you have other options. Your confident, non-possessive detachment is the very thing that makes her never want to leave. So, the 8 unspoken rules. Don't outsource your confidence. Don't force her into the masculine role. Don't be her dumping ground. Don't make her the mission. Don't project a false self. Don't use low-value communication. Don't abandon your reality. And never, ever try to cage a butterfly. What is the unifying principle behind all of these rules? Self-respect. Every single one of these mistakes stems from a weak internal frame and a lack of respect for yourself, your time, and your purpose. When you commit to living by these rules, you are not doing it to get the girl. You are doing it to become the strongest, most centered, most high-value version of yourself. The attraction she feels is simply a natural side effect of the respect you have for yourself. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself in the comments. Which of these 8 rules have you been most guilty of breaking in the past? No judgment. Acknowledging it is the first step to becoming the man you're meant to be. If this video gave you clarity, do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe for more no BS psychology, and hit that notification bell. Respect yourself first, the rest will follow. I'll see you in the next one.